Okay.
And when I was just turning 6, the real depression was up there, and Paul wasn't working in the mines. And we were living in a shotgun house across the mountain from Bessemer, rent free, just so the house wouldn't be torn up and bums sleeping in it, somebody he knew. And we had a creek in the backyard. That's where Mama washed clothes. And we got water from a well from the people across the street. And we played in that creek, and we had a dog named Mickey, a little pointer, bird dog. And everywhere we'd go, that dog would go. And he'd catch snakes. And one time we missed him, and we were looking for him and found him. He'd been killing somebody's chickens, and they caught him and shot him, killed him. And I think that's the last dog we ever had. And after that, I started to go to school over there at, can't remember the name of the town, close to Greenwood. And we moved back to Bessemer when I started his first grade at Bessemer Elementary School, where Mama had gone to school as a little girl. And it was like a 2-story school, had a big stair at each end to go up to this. And on the playground, they had a slide that was just some steps going up and 2 steel poles coming down the edge. They'd never have anything like that on the playground.
Oh, Lord, no.
We'd go down it hanging down, upside down, backwards.
It's the wonder they made.
And I started in the first grade there, and then the next year I was promoted to the 3rd grade. Then I got promoted to the 5th grade.
He skipped grades. He was smart.
And then by that time we'd moved on the hill. And I went to school 1 year there, and our schoolhouse burned down. And went to school in the clubhouse down by the swimming pool. And then I had to go to Greenwood Middle School, and I had to ride the bus over there. And I graduated from there in 8th grade. That's the only certificate I got of graduation somewhere in these papers. And then I went to McAdory and had to ride the bus. And the war had started then. And we'd have to meet at the bus stop. They didn't pick you up from your house.
Nope.
And it'd be dark in the morning and freezing, and we'd have a fire going. We'd stand around there for an hour or 2, and the bus wouldn't come because it was frozen up or wouldn't start. Then we'd all go back home.
So did you like school?
No, I hated school.
I liked it.
I didn't have the same kind of clothes other people had. My fees were never paid. I didn't have enough books, equipment, and didn't have lunch money.
She made you a lunch though, didn't she?
So I didn't like school at all.
I liked it. I went to Pritchard number 1 and then Pritchard number 2, which later became Glendale. And then walked all the way from where we lived on Railroad Street up to Viger. That we were the first class at Viger, and voted in the colors and the wolves. That's what tigers are. And then we couldn't go there the next year. Had to go to Murphy.
No.
And had to get on a city bus. They didn't even have school buses So we met around there, you know where the coffee pot was, Mom? Met at the coffee pot. Everyone had to get up at like 5 something because the bus left at 6 something. And we all piled on that bus and went to Murphy. And if you were from Pritchard, which we were, your name was pretty much mud at Murphy. Only one person got to hold an office. at Murphy. But I was telling Bob I must have had a pretty good voice because I went out for Glee Club and got that, and not only got Glee Club, got to be in the Glee Club, I was picked for an octet, and we got to go around and do it for different functions, singing specials, just the 8 of us. So that was real something for me back then. So.
What were your favorite subjects?
I liked civics. And of course, I was always good at spelling and not too hot at math, but I could do it. I made good grades. The only thing I ever did not make good in is Latin, and I found that real hard.
And besides Glee Club, what other things did you do?
Nothing. I didn't take home ec like every girl in the world did, and I took typing and all that. But I used, stenography. I used to, what do they call it when there's a little shorthand. I took shorthand and typing. That's what I was going to do for a living.
But your hand was shut. When I was in grade school, I used to play hooky.
Grade school?
Yeah. When I was going to Bessemer, and I would go walk to East Lake, West Lake, and play around the lake, catch turtles, and if somebody left a boat untied, I'd get the boat and get back home.
It's a wonder he's still alive, you know it.
Did y'all have dances at school at Murphy? Were you allowed to go?
That was my first, well, I didn't get, no, I never did go. I started going to the Y and learned how to dance and loved it, but I still didn't get to go to a prom or anything. But I got to where I could find where dances were going to be and go. On the slide. And I had a date one night, and Charlie Spivak, which was a big band was in town, and this boy was going to take me, and I didn't tell Mother and Daddy, and let's see, how did it happen when I got home? I guess I was so excited about it. I said something about Charlie Spivak, and I thought you were going so and so. So I told on myself, and Daddy could trick me. He was big about tricking me. He knew. One night I told him I wasn't going to a dance at the Armory, and then when I got home, he said, somebody told me they saw you over there at that Armory, and I just went, yeah. And then Bubba could do Bubba the same way, and he said, well, they must have been lying because they didn't see me over there. You know, he knew how to handle it, and I didn't. I was so honest. I always got caught. But I did and still do love to dance, and I'm good at it.
Yeah.
You know.
She could have danced all night, but I wanted to go home.
We went a lot dancing,
Yeah,
didn't we? Once I started dating him.
Well, did you remember any kind of sports or games, like physical games, did y'all play? What kind?
I played all kinds of. I
Did
played
you?
softball.
Softball.
And
What position did you play?
a base. I'm trying to think which one, but I think first base. And I could hit pretty good, and I could broad jump. We did all that. And let's see, I guess that's about it. And I remember during the war being real big on collecting aluminum, whatever, iron, whatever was they needed. That we'd have big searches for it, and I was in charge of some of those.
Scrap drive.
Yeah, scrap drive. That's what it was. For the war effort.
What about you, Dan? What kind of sports or games, like tag or chase
Yeah,
or?
we used to play hide and seek and tag.
No organized
cowboys.
sports, though.
Y'all didn't play football or baseball or any of those kind of things?
Didn't have any footballs.
Couldn't play with a tater.
We used to make a ball out of rags,
Did you?
twine, use a broomstick for a bat.
Okay.
I was pretty good at baseball. Softball it was for girls.
We went camping and just swimming and cooking. We'd steal enough potatoes and corn and stuff like that. Go to the creek and build a fire, make coffee. And
I was good. I was a good. What do they call it? Gym
Gymnast?
thing. Yeah, I could do things on those. Hang by my legs and walk with my hands across with them.
Like on those monkey bars?
Yeah, monkey bars. That's what
Okay.
it was called. Did good on those.
Okay. What about reading? You didn't like school that much, so did you read?
All the time,
Yeah. What kind of stuff did you read?
whatever was available.
Did they have like a library, or
I've never been in a library.
how'd you get your books?
Well, from whatever people had. Comic books.
You didn't do much hardback reading back then, did you?
No, but
When you
I
got grown, you
always
did.
read
Yeah.
something. Everybody had some kind of books.
And I never
All the
was a
rants
reader
and all
much.
this.
You didn't read that much?
I made good grades in school, but I never did read much.
And when
Still
I,
don't. I do puzzles, but I don't read.
when I was going to sea, I used to read a lot.
So when you got up into your teenage years, when was the first time you remember seeing a TV?
She was grown.
Probably
Yeah.
at Nanny and Paul's.
How old were you?
19.
That was the first time you saw a TV at Nanny and
I
Paul's?
think so, don't you?
First time I ever saw one was in New York City
Well, see, he was a
in a
traveling.
bar in 1940, fall of 1945.
And Mother and Daddy didn't have one till way after
'Cause
Nanny and Paul did.
Paid off a ship there and rode a train from New York City to Mobile. Changed trains in Atlanta. And it was just packed with soldiers and sailors, civilians, people standing up, sleeping in. That's the way everybody traveled then,
Yeah.
except a very few that might fly.
Well, go ahead.
I remember I'd never ridden a train, and guess who took me to Montgomery on the train? Virgin Bay. And I'd never been on one, and you could go up and get some water every time you wanted it. Well, I drank so much water. You've heard this story. All the way up there, and we went shopping. And we went in some stores as soon as we got there, and I kept telling her I had to go to the bathroom. She said, "Oh, we're leaving in just a minute." And I couldn't hold it and just peed all over that floor in that dollar store. Embarrassed her to death. So then we left. I'd had too much water to drink. That was terrible. I was so embarrassed because I was trying to be ladylike even back then, but she wouldn't take me, and he wouldn't take me. And I wasn't but about 7 or 8 years old. But I loved the train ride. I just thought that was wonderful.
What kind of vehicles do y'all remember as kids? Did you have cars, or did you?
I never had a car until we moved to Pritchard.
How did he get around? I guess y'all had everything at the
Walked,
company.
buses, and he'd get people to take him places, you know.
Did they have street cars or stuff like that in
streetcar.
Mobile?
I used to ride a streetcar to Birmingham.
And then they had got buses. I remember taking the bus to my music teacher's class all the time. And when Daddy was in the hospital, when his appendix burst, I'd ride the bus down there to see him. And of course, I was about 15 then, I guess.
We used to run a bus route so that, you usually didn't have to walk maybe half a mile to get to a bus or to a streetcar.
Mm-hmm.
When you got off, you would go wherever you needed to go on foot. But when I used to go to Papa Darnell's in the summer, somebody would take me on the streetcar to Birmingham and put me on the train. And I'd get to Decatur and I'd have to change trains and go to Hillsborough,
How old were you then?
10, 11 years old.
Yeah.
And Papa would be there with a mule wagon, meet the train, because the house, you'd have been to the,
Mm-hmm.
where that place out there was. And I'd spend a month or so with them and Granny Darnell.
That
And I'd
Granny
go play
was
with the
big.
other cousins, but they had to go to school or something.
They did.
Because they got out in the spring when it was planting time.
Mm.
And they went to school
Had to
in the
make up
summer,
for
and then
it.
they got out in the fall.
Fall
when it
for
was
harvest.
to pick cotton and corn and do all that stuff. And then they had to go back in the winter.
Hmm.
So, except for weekends, in the evenings, I was by myself.
So, as far as church goes, you went to church like how many times a week?
Well, we
Twice
went
a week?
Every Wednesday night, went to Sunday school and church on Sunday morning. And if there's any kind of meeting during the week.
Did you
If it was just for adults, I didn't go with her, but if it wasn't, I.
did you like church?
Yeah, I liked it okay.
Were you in the choir?
Yeah, and then after I got 15 or 16, I started wearing lipstick, and one of the ladies went to the preacher, I told you this, and said that to take me out of the choir with that lipstick on like that wasn't right. And so he came to me and asked me would I lighten my lipstick, and I said no, I'll wear it like this on Monday, I'll wear it like this on Sunday. And he said, well, let me pray about it. And he came back and said, well, I believe your singing does more good than your lipstick does harm. So I sang from then on.
So did you pick a brighter shade of red after that just to piss them off, or no? Sing like this?
Stuck my tongue out at him. I know who it was. It was Sister Blake and Irene, Bob. Remember them?
Then they started wearing lipstick.
Yeah.
They did.
Oh, yeah. When they got
Well, they figured it was
Lady
okay.
Blake never did. Now Irene might have won a
Well,
little.
Irene did, I guarantee you. Earrings.
Yeah. Everything was a sin. And you know what? I do have a little resentment that I was raised where every single thing is a sin. It's hard to live that way. It is. And I still, even knowing better, I still have that feeling, and it's really hard. I would not do that to any of our children, even though we went to a Baptist church. The Assembly of God, everything was a sin, wasn't it, Bob?
Everything.
I mean,
So what about y'all? Did y'all go to church?
Hey, Manny did all the time. Took us. We used to go to Sunday school, go to church, sit on that pew and go to sleep.
he didn't
Go to
like it.
sleep?
Yeah.
What kind of church was it?
It was Baptist.
Baptist church.
Did any of your brothers and sisters take to it or really enjoy it? Did Carolyn?
Yeah.
Because she
Well,
seems to
Carolyn
be,
does now, but
she wasn't that
Mm.
into it back then.
don't remember it. Of course, the time we all got teenagers, we scattered.
You stopped going
Jimmy
to
went to
church?
the Army, and Billy went in the Air Force, and
He was-
Jackie went in the Army. Air
You were a
Force.
merchant seaman.
Mary Catherine moved to Texas and lived with,
Jimmy.
yeah, and then
Then married
married
Eugene.
Eugene. And
So, when did you start dating?
I had to be at least 16. They didn't like it then, but then it had to be more than one. I had to be with 2 or 3, 4 people maybe. Couldn't. They were real strict, real strict. So, and I remember that's how I learned to put lipstick on. If I was gonna kiss somebody, I'd wipe my lipstick off so I wouldn't have it smeared all over, and then I could put it back on without a mirror in the car. That's how I can still do that.
That's quite a
That's
feat to do. So you learned that by having to skate around
Yeah.
so you wouldn't have messed up
She
lipstick.
snuck around.
So was there anybody you dated that you really liked a lot?
Yeah. Yeah.
Before Dad?
Yeah.
Like who? You remember?
Charlie Dixon was one, and what was that boy that lived out in Theodore? I must have liked him much. I can't remember his name, but I really liked him. I was dating him when I met you.
What was a typical date like? What'd you do?
Oh, you either went to a movie or some people skated, but I never did. I wasn't allowed to go to the skating rink, so I could skate, but I wasn't allowed to go over there where everybody met and everything. I worked at an ice cream parlor, and I had a good time doing that because I got to see all my pals that come in up there, a hot curve. And date was pretty much a movie. After I could get away and go to the Y dancing, we did that. Danced at the Y.
And did they kiss you goodnight when they
Sure.
brought you home? Right at the door, or were they too afraid of
Oh,
Big
no,
Daddy?
no. You
In the
get-
car?
You get everything done before you get there.
Okay.
Hugging and kissing. Ain't that right?
That's right.
Ain't that right, Eddie?
And what other jobs did you have when you were younger, besides hop
I went
hopping?
from high school. Okay, hop curb during high school for Mr. Lassiter, and he was also a neighbor, and owned the ice cream parlor. And then straight from high school, from graduation, to Shirley Cochran's Furniture Company, and worked there till Bobby and I got married. Until after we got married, and had Brian. After I got pregnant with Brian, I worked this for as long as I could, though, didn't I? And he was gone to sea by then, and I lived with Carolyn and Bubby for a long time while he was going to sea. And then we finally were able to rent us a house, and it was on Railroad Street. Isn't that our first house? No. As soon as we married, we lived in an upstairs apartment on Wilson Avenue over a store.
Auto parts.
Auto parts store. Yeah, that's right.
In a one room.
But I wasn't pregnant. Well, I was pregnant the next month. That's right.
So, you said you got Coke bottles for money. What else did you guys do for money when you were little? Little and then.
Catch minnows and sell bait and dig worms. Would get onions, green onions, and stuff out of the garden and go peddling.
Whose garden? Your daddy's?
Yeah.
I thought maybe you took them out of somebody else's.
Well,
You would have. You would have.
And cut grass.
Oh, I was going to ask about that. Did you ever cut grass?
Did you have a lawnmower?
Usually the people,
They had it. You just did it for them.
most of it is push mowers. We never saw.
What'd you charge to cut grass?
We used it 50 cents. If it
Isn't
took
it
a half a
amazing?
day, that's about all you could get. And we used to know where nuts and berries were. We'd pick blackberries, hickory nuts, and sell those. Anything. We were scroungers.
So once you moved into Pritchard Homes, that was a bigger house?
Well, it had 3 bedrooms.
Yeah.
It wasn't no big house.
And it had indoor
About
plumbing.
Double.
Oh,
wide
yeah. It was
But
the
we
best
had a
house they'd
bathroom.
lived in a long
frame.
time.
Bathroom with a shower. No tub. It was just a shower and a commode and a sink.
Mm-hmm.
And the kitchen had a sink with water. And it had a gas stove, I believe.
Yeah.
And that was it. It was a 2-unit. You know, we lived on one end, somebody else lived on the other. Duplex.
So how old were you when you moved to Pritchard?
About 15.
So that was right before you went to sea?
Well,
You worked at the shipyard some, didn't you?
I worked at a clothing manufacturer.
Con.
Con manufacturer.
And Mother worked there, too.
Yeah.
And then I worked for the Corps of Engineers as a messenger. And then after I got 16, I got a job in the shipyard and learned how to weld and became a welder. And then I did that work until I started going to sea.
Okay.
That's
And
what
I
I
did that for
mentioned.
5 years.
So you met him when he was at the shipyard.
No, going to start, you were going to sea when I met you, weren't you? Yeah, Carolyn, in fact, he was coming in off of a long trip, and she got me a date with him.
But I'd already been going 4 years.
Yeah, he'd been a seaman a while by then. And
So, what made you decide to go to sea?
Well, I was going to join the Navy. The war was going on.
they wouldn't let him.
And I couldn't join the Navy. I wasn't old enough.
How old did you have to be?
18, 17. I was only 16. And then, I don't know, just 2 or 3 of us said, well, we could go to sea. And you could go right away. You didn't have to
Go through training and
that
all.
stuff, so.
Was Tate one of your buddies that went with you?
Yeah.
Is he dead now?
Yeah, he's been dead.
Hmm.
So 3 of you decided to go in together?
It was just me and him, I guess, as far as I remember.
Yeah.
But he liked it.
And the first ship I was on was a tanker, and we went out in the Pacific.
From where? From Mobile?
Mobile.
Through the Panama Canal?
Yeah. I got a union permit, and I was a mess boy. All I did was serve the crew and wash dishes and clean up.
Then he became a cook.
So we sailed on that tanker and went to Baytown, Texas, and loaded it up with fog oil to lay down smoke screens. And then we went from there to Panama, through the canal, went to Pearl Harbor to refuel the ship. And then we left there unescorted because of wars. We were getting ready to invade Japan.
And they were in just as much danger as anybody, but
So we were out, I don't know how many days, and a submarine picked us up and somebody sighted it. So we just kept going as fast as we could go, and they were going as fast as they could go, and they never could catch us. So it was like just day and night we were going, and we got close to Guam, and the air patrol was patrolling for subs, and they left us, and we lost them, and we went on to Leyte Harbor in the Philippines. And there must have been 20 or 30,000 ships around there. It was the
Wow.
biggest armada that's ever been gathered.
So when did you join? What year was that?
That was at
42?
Early, no,
41? Oh,
Early
45.
45.
and
And the war ended in August. August the 9th is when they dropped the first bomb, and August 15th the second one. And then Japan surrendered. And we were sitting there waiting to invade Japan.
Mm.
So we brought the fog oil back. Our load, we came back to Honolulu, to Pearl Harbor, and then went to Panama, and went back through the canal, and took the oil to Aruba. Standard Oil had a refinery there, and unloaded that oil to be re-refined. Then we went to Maracaibo in Venezuela and loaded the tanker with crude oil and headed for New York, for Bayonne, New Jersey.
Okay, hold it right there because this disc's almost full. We'll pick up there. We'll pick you up at Bayonne, New Jersey.
and what makes me so mad about him, they were in danger just as much as anybody, and was not declared a veteran until about 12 years ago.
Ronald Reagan.
We never got a chance to have a VA loan, you know, any of the perks for being a veteran, and he was definitely a veteran. They just didn't recognize it, because I always heard it was because y'all made a little bit more money
We were
than
civilians.
servicemen.
We'd never been inducted into any kind of armed forces.